Hey, Pelvic Posse, and welcome to the Empower Your Pelvis Podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Empower Your Pelvis Podcast. I'm Amanda, and today we have the lovely Dr. Erica here with us to go over a course that she's going to be, actually it is live right now, going live. The cost is live. You can purchase it.
You can buy it. You can buy the course.
That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. It's going to go live January 16th through February
10th, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's 4 weeks long. So it's that Monday through the 4 week after Friday.
Perfect. So before we get into that, Erica, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and why this was inspired.
Yeah. So I am Erica. What do I do? I'm a pelvic floor physical therapist.
So much more.
Really love practicing yoga and exercising. It makes me feel strong and like stable. It makes me feel centered. I love being outside. I love eating food. It's one of my favorite things. And cooking. I like cooking a lot, cooking and eating. So I feel like that's me. I like moving. I like eating. I like being with my family. I have 2 babies. They're precious baby angels. They are 18 months and 3, and they are hilarious and fun and exhausting and just like the most perfect humans. It's definitely the hardest thing I've ever done being a mom, but it is the best. It's like something you're super proud of. You're like, dang, I kept you alive again today. And you seem like a pretty cool person. So it's
You're like
great.
leading a pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
As your kids get a little older, you might be a little embarrassed of the pack you're leading. Because I have that quite frequently with my boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're leading something.
They're still young enough now. Their behaviors are excused. They're only 3, but someday.
When they get a little older.
Yeah.
So Erica's pelvic floor physical therapist here at Empower Your Pelvis.
Yes.
And she's got a birth prep course.
Yeah.
Tell us what inspired that and then a little bit about it.
Yeah. So, gosh, I think it was probably like the initial thing was me giving birth, right? Like I've given birth twice. And I chose to have unmedicated deliveries both times. And I was able to have a vaginal delivery both times. And it was really lovely. It was what I wanted. And I think through all of that, I saw myself, the first time I was really great at being mindful of staying active and staying mobile and like doing the best I could to prepare for birth with the knowledge I had. So I didn't do this, but I was a physical therapist. So I knew like you should exercise and build strength and have aerobic capacity and all those fancy things. So I knew those. So I tried my best and it went pretty well. And the second time I did the best I could, but I already had another kid and it was harder and I did okay. And birth was still good, but there's a missing link. There's a link where your medical status is monitored, your baby is monitored, but there's no one there to tell you like, hey, you need to do these stretches. You need to do these strengthening exercises. You need to know what your pelvic floor is. You need to know how it can move. You need to know how it does move during labor and birth. So there's so many pieces that we're missing that when you know them, you feel so much stronger and so much more empowered and ready for labor and delivery because you know what's going on. You kind of know what to expect. So the biggest thing is I wanted people who are birthing babies to know what was coming, to know what their body was going to do and how they could work with their body instead of feeling like they were like just struggling through it. So I think that's the biggest piece.
And I think for us, like so often in physical therapy, it's like we don't want to go get help until we're dealing with something like pain, like low back pain or lightning crotch. And where we've really been trying to push the envelope is why are we not educating these females earlier to prevent stuff from happening or to make us stronger for the event that's about to happen, and really empowering them during that 40 weeks plus, give or take a few, to actually have them ready for that. Because this is something that irked me this week on social media. It was like when to go see a physical therapist during pregnancy. And they listed all of these like symptoms, right? Impairments. And I'm like, why are we still pushing this out there? It needs to be more of that preventative. Like if you think about like, I know I was going to give birth. I thought I was going to have a vaginal birth. So in my mind, I'm a planner.
Yeah.
And I wanted to plan for delivery. But what I didn't do my first round in 2013, because I didn't know this was a thing, was to how could I plan my body for birth?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Erica decides, you know what? That's not out there. Why don't we figure this out for people and give them help decide their plan? But then let's also go a step further. Let's give them options on feeding their baby. So she's also got interviews with a lactation consultant in there. Let's go a step further. Let's talk to a doula and think about planning the birth, right?
And what your choices are, what your options are, what kind of things you make decisions on.
It's like going to the grocery store. You have so many options. Yeah. I didn't know I could have so many different plans available. Make the plans, but know that they're going to still go one way or the other, but you will have more peace then.
Yes.
When that time comes.
Yes. And just like exactly what she said, prevention and wellness. Like we're here to help this be better instead of once something has gone wrong, go back and try to fix it. And we can do that. That's our job. We're good at it.
Last time somebody went through, I remember her saying her lightning crotch had improved by like second week.
Yeah.
So yes, we can do that. It's much easier to go that way than this way.
We had multiple people be like, oh gosh, I had back pain. Like they had things going on and they're like, wow, just doing these movements and learning like made it better. So it does happen. We do that. And then it's also for those people so you don't have to experience those things and you can just get it ahead of time. Keep yourself like healthy and strong and moving.
Mm-hmm. What's your number one favorite thing you think from your last group?
My favorite thing was probably, this is funny, like the personal connection that everyone got to have. Yes. So it's not even like the real content, right? But it's like when we get on the live Zoom calls and people have real questions and you're like, hey, that's great. Let's talk about that tonight. Or we're in our Voxer chat, which is a platform you guys get access to. And we get to talk the whole 4 weeks with all the girls who are in it and myself and Amanda. And so people are sharing like just life stuff like, hey, I did this for the baby, or like, hey, I did this for myself. I'm getting a massage. We're going out of town. I did all my exercises, whatever it is, just like people getting to connect when they're going through a similar thing and feeling that like support and community with it.
I'm so glad you said that because we had a patient here this week who actually grabbed a flyer for her daughter who's getting ready or who's expecting. And she was asking questions about it. So I was filling her in on the content and what's to be expected. But I said, my number one thing as a provider sitting in on it was the community. And she was like, oh, that's a really good idea. I didn't think about that. And I'm like, exactly. Because these women start making these connections. And then all of a sudden, like, and I'm going to butcher who it was in this group, but let's say Susie posted a picture of her nursery, which looked straight out of a magazine.
Like Pottery Barn.
Yes.
Like
absolutely gorgeous.
Pristine.
Cute little dog in the corner with a little bow tie on. It was gorgeous. Well, then all these moms are like, oh, where'd you get that? Or this is so cute. Or how many weeks are you? And then it's like your own little hype zone in there to prep you for birth. So not only do you have Erica and I, hyping you up, but you've got your own girls and then they're having the babies and you're checking in and you're creating that same community. It's like going to, I don't know, like I went to prenatal yoga finally with my third pregnancy, developed a friendship with the girl next to me. And now our kids are in preschool together. Like we stayed connected.
Yeah.
And they can find connections maybe locally or again, because this is online, it's nationally. So then we're making those connections and you're still staying in contact and cheering each other on.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Community.
And kind of going back about the prevention and the wellness. Sorry, guys, we're going back there again. Like something that we say and that other people say is like, birth is an athletic event. Birth is a marathon. You don't play volleyball and never practice. You don't play basketball and never strength train, right?
Or like if you do when you're our age,
it doesn't go well.
No.
Like,
so why would we
you don't look good out there
for childbirth if I'm not gonna I know if I go join a volleyball league right now at 35, I'm almost 36, I'm gonna be sore for like a week and a half. And that's just swinging my arms and legs. So trying to go deliver a baby, not something I would recommend.
Yeah, like our babies, our bodies are designed for it 100%.
Yep.
They also they deserve to be supported and prepped for it. So.
Just like with running, just like with sports.
Yep.
Absolutely. So we really think of birthing like the athletic event. So if we tear, that's like tearing tissue with a rotator cuff or an ACL injury, maybe tearing ligaments down there. If you haven't had a baby, you may tear your vaginal muscles. You may end up with a cesarean or major abdominal surgery. It's just what happens. But we want to make sure whatever you're at, whatever strength level you're at ahead of time, you may have bed rest afterwards. And bed rest, we know, is going to deplete muscle strength. Usually by day 3, day 4, we start to see muscle breakdown, AKA mom butt kicks in a little bit more. So if we can start to prep up that tissue, make sure that those pelvic floor muscles and the glutes and the rest of the body are able to, because she's not only doing pelvic floor and legs, we're also working
posture and shoulders and
because you're now holding
abdominal muscles,
brand new baby that's maybe 8 pounds again, give or take.
Yeah.
It's
just
hard. It's
Yeah.
so hard. Moms bring their babies in here and you're like, after 10 minutes, like, gosh, I remember this is where you start to lean. You start to lean back because that baby's heavy.
Yes.
But if we can start strengthening the body earlier and keep that up, we can help keep the body used to.
Okay. So I just remembered we're talking about like being strong beforehand. So I told you I did like the best I did like decent, honestly, but I didn't do a ton of strength training. And I had Carter, my first child. And then I vacuumed our house, like, I don't know, 4 weeks later or something. It was a while. So like, it was okay. But you guys, I thought we like had a new vacuum. Like it felt so heavy. I feel like I vacuumed for 5 minutes. I was like, I'm done. Why is this so hard? I had no abs. I had no shoulders. I had no back. I had no butt. Everything was just weak because I'd been caring for a newborn and I didn't do a ton of strengthening ahead of time. So yeah, I went from like here to here instead of like here to here.
Mm-hmm. If you've had a C-section, please do not vacuum at 4 weeks postpartum or 6 weeks postpartum, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
I had to have that talk with a patient yesterday. Body's not quite ready for that. Vaginal, totally different. Okay, back to this and prepping. Anything else you want to add exercise-wise? What about perineal massage?
Yeah, so we're going to go over that. And I feel like that's something some people know and others don't. It's more or less prepping your vaginal tissue, stretching, lengthening, moving your vaginal tissue. So we don't always know even if we need it, quite honestly. Like you think everything is fine because life has been acceptable up until this point. You haven't had glaring pelvic floor issues, but then you go and you try this and you're like, holy moly, this tissue doesn't move at all. So what we're doing is we're lengthening and like encouraging that tissue to move around your vaginal opening prior to baby coming out, right? Because that tissue is going from wherever it is to 10 centimeters of dilation. That's how much it dilates. And then it stretches a little bit more as baby comes out. So 12 to 15 centimeters of that movement come from the back. 2 to 4, 2 to 6 come from the front. So a lot of that movement comes from the back of the vaginal opening. And we are working that area to help it be able to adapt to that, decrease risk of tearing, decrease severity of tearing, improve recovery.
Love that.
Yeah.
Swag bags.
Yeah.
If they sign up, what do they get?
You get lots of goodies. So you are definitely, you're going to have to help me remember. You're definitely getting a pelvic wand because that will help with our perineal massage, our stretching that tissue. Because when you've got a big belly in the way, it can be hard to reach that area. So the wand is going to come to you. So you're ready for the course.
Save that sucker because you'll probably use it postpartum once you're told that you can.
Yes. Yes. I know we've got that. We've got lube,
ice packs for boobs or healing.
Yes. Yep.
Lots of information and handouts for you as well.
I think
postpartum rings.
Yep.
So exercises that they're on a little postpartum ring that you can keep in your travel caddy by the diaper bag caddy area, diaper changing area, in a diaper bag, or take them with you. It's the way that those work is really starting out with the exercises you should start with postpartum, like breathing, stretching.
Yes.
Those are also great during pregnancy, and then moving further along into core strengthening.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are like an easy go-to for safe exercises to start right after you've got baby. Amanda's pictures, brief instructions. We're right there with you.
And then if you have any questions regarding birth prep, please shoot us an email at info@empoweryourpelvis.com. Shoot us a message on Instagram at the link below as well. But before we get going, Erica, and I did not prep her for this, one question that we ask everybody. What is something you are learning, doing, or teaching that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, an or question. So any of them?
Or all three, whatever you'd like.
We'll start with one.
Okay.
I'm super excited and it's very applicable to this. I am starting my doula training for the pelvic floor physical therapist.
How fun.
So I started last night. I have been contemplating starting it for a very long time and I purchased it and started it right away because I get so excited. And the really, really cool thing is I'm going to have most of the content finished before we even start our birth prep course. So I'm going to have like all kinds of great new knowledge that I get to share with you guys from this. And then I have a like live meetup with people on Zoom that actually happens during our birth prep course. So then if I get any other like goodies, I'll get all that info that you guys get to benefit from.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to even just the wealth of knowledge that you're coming away with it is huge.
It's going to be so exciting.
So exciting. How long will it take to go through fully?
They said it's approximately 12 hours of online content, but I don't know what all that includes because there's like the meat and potatoes and there's like this and look at this and
carrots.
Study this attachment.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
There's that. And then there's a 4-hour live Zoom, like office hours where we meet and discuss, review and go through questions and dive a little deeper into some
stuff. You guys are going to be very lucky to have her. I mean, already just to have her, but this new wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you all for listening in. Thank you, Erica, for joining in for this
pleasure.
Quick podcast. And if you all have any questions, please let us know and we'll see you next week. Hey, Pelvic Posse. I want to thank you so much for joining into this week's episode of the Empower Your Pelvis Podcast. Can I ask you a couple of favors, please? Number one, can you like and subscribe to this podcast so that you can continue to empower your pelvis forever so that you will never miss out? Number two, can you leave us a rating and a review telling them how amazing we are and everything that you have learned about your pelvic health? And then number three, if you haven't seen the video version of this podcast, you can go over to youtube.com/C/Empower Your Pelvis for all your visual learners out there. We have all types of great visuals in there for you to not only listen to, but to also watch. Thank you so much again, and make sure to give your pelvis some love. Until next time, peace out, Pelvic Posse.